Let's go. Hey everyone, this is Andrew. Southworth, GenereStudios.com, and in this video I thought it'd be fun to try to make a song without hearing it. So the only thing I have loaded is a basic piano patch and a drum kit. I'm gonna load up a basic sub patch as well. So for the drums, we just got this kind of basic kit. For the piano, got this cool ambient sounding piano, and then the sub bass, just this basic bass patch. Now I'm going to dial this tempo to 128 BPM because that's a pretty standard BPM for like electronic music, which is what I'm going for. And I'm just going to turn the volume down so I don't hear a damn thing. So since I can't hear anything, I'm going to be doing everything in MIDI because I think that's the best way to do it. Let me start with the piano because I think that'll be easier. This should be roughly the root note I want. And I'm gonna kind of use a pattern that I'm familiar with and a chord progression I'm familiar with, because otherwise I'd be completely shooting in the dark. So I'll just kind of oscillating fifth pattern. Should be like I'll copy that. And I'm gonna do an A minor, F major, D minor chord progression because it's just a chord progression I like a lot. So I'll shift these down to F, and I'll shift these down to D. Then I'll copy these last two. Sometimes I go back up to F, sometimes I'll go to G, but this one I'll just do that kind of like A minor, F major, D minor. I'll add a little melodic sprinkle on top. Maybe just like a little E that rings out up top. And then I'll go to the F here for the rest of it. Is that an F? Yeah, that's an F. So I think that'll sound kind of neat and build some tension in that first part. And I'll also add some like root notes to these chords just to give them a little more oomph. I'll use a pretty basic kick snare pattern. I don't know what snare is which. I don't know. I think when I play this, I use this one. And I'll copy that twice. And then I wanted to use that snap sound here. Is that the snap? Snap. So I think this is right. And I'll copy that times 2. And I'm going to use one of these hi-hats to make a kind of trappy vibe thing. I think I use this one. So this is what we have so far. Cool, hopefully that sounds awesome. Now, if I go to the piano here, I'm gonna copy this over to the sub bass and erase all the high notes and the octaves. And I'll probably arrange this so that this comes in after the fact and this keeps going. So this sub bass, I wanna check what frequency this is. So I'm gonna throw on an EQ and click play. I think that's the right note range. It looks like it's in the sub bass. So might sound horrible. I can see my master's peaking, so I'm going to go on there, throw on a utility, do a minus 10 dB. That looks like it's giving me to minus 12. And then I'll throw on a L1 limiter because I usually throw that on when I'm writing a song just to get the roughly good like loudness level, so I can kind of have a baseline for where the song's going to end up being at. And usually I go to 3 or 4 millisecond release. That should be a good rough kind of idea. Now I think I'm going to I'm gonna go and switch to arrangement view. And now when this kicks in, actually maybe I'll shift this over. And when I'll have the drums come in here, but I'm gonna remove the kick and the cymbals. Yes, that's what I'm gonna do. And then for this, I'm gonna switch up the melodic pattern. So maybe I'll start with I'll do an E for the start, just like I did for the intro. Something like that. I'm just kind of humming roughly the rhythm that it should be. And then I'll have this continue over here. And now it's going to be interesting because I want to make some kind of sound designed pad that I didn't plan ahead, so I'm gonna play it safe. I'm gonna do a bunch of oscillators, kind of detuned. I'll put a pretty aggressive filter on them, and then I'm gonna wash it out in reverb, just because that way it's kind of hard to tell if something's off. It's just kind of like this dissonant sound in the back. And then I'll do the same thing with the EQ. I will put on this high pass and filter out a bunch of the low end and kind of where like the lead notes lie around this 1K-ish region. And then we already have EQ. It looks like it could be too low, so I'm gonna grab this and shift it up entire octave. It's more the region that I'm going for. Just to further make it washed out, I'm gonna increase the width, and that will give it a little more stereo spread. Now, I feel like I should probably have some kind of riser, which I'll pull into my my sample library. So this is playing. I've liked this one in the past, so I guess I'll use this riser. It doesn't seem to snap fully. Maybe I'll do that. I'll put a little thing so it doesn't clip, and I'll fade this in. If I go into impacts, I want like that at some point, so let's grab that and do a cut. Swatch this. Looks like it's quiet enough, so hopefully it is. I'm going to group all of these elements together, and I'll do a, for time, 12 minutes. I'll do a compressor here, and I'm going to make this a sidechain. So I'm going to do inputs on whole drum rack. I'm going to go to the kick drum. I'm going to go to this view, and we'll watch and see where the meter lies. I think I'll do a ×2 on this, and then maybe just since my first time doing this, I'll do this kind of thing, just like an outro. And I'll do this, put a kick, a ride, and that cool snap thing that I like. All right, so the moment you've all been waiting for, or at least the moment I've been waiting for, because you already know what the song sounds like. So let's go. It is a cool groove. Alright, so overall, I'm pretty happy with how it came out for not hearing it. Like, I think if I was doing it while listening, I would have had that be a much bigger impact when it kicks in. The synth would be louder. It would be like an octave of that lead thing that happens, like the da-da-da-da-da-da. And the mix would be a lot better because like the low end and the high end isn't really balanced, and the drums are too loud in some parts and too quiet in others. But overall, that was a great time. So let me know if you want me to do any kind of more interesting song challenges like this in the future. Check out this awesome playlist on sound design-y type of stuff. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you in the next video.